to the Red Men TV. It's the latest news update show. Hope you're doing well on this Monday. Steve Hoare here. Yeah, the Reds over the weekend signed Dominik Szoboszlai, and already attentions are turning to what's next, because that is the world we live in. So yeah, I'm going to be running through the links with Romeo Lavia very, very shortly. Before then, we've got a conversation about FSG. We've got a little bit about Steven Gerrard as well. To get involved in, like I say, if you're watching this live on YouTube now, if you're a Red Men Plus Club legend, you can use the Discord chat. If you are watching on the YouTube, like I say, get involved in the live chat, and I'll bring your comments up below. Unlike Albie, who might be getting off. Oh no, not Steve Hoare, FFS. First of all, I don't like being called Steve. It's Steve. Steve isn't my jam, but yeah, it's me. Soz about me. Come back tomorrow, you'll get tan. If not, hang around. I'm sure I'll try and change your mind. Right then, move on. Let's talk about the first story then. And I want to talk about the investment and football expert, finance expert, Keenan Maguire has been speaking on his show. The price of football has been aggregated a little bit by Liverpool World. Just a little update on the potential investment situation. It says, it would appear FSG are willing to sell a minority stake direct of Liverpool. From what I've been told, we're talking 10 to 15% of the club, and they're looking to get somewhere in the region of 400 to 500 million for that sale. They bought the whole club for about 300 million back in the day, so that kind of shows you exactly what they've done and how much, basically how valuable Liverpool have become in the time since FSG took over. So yeah, £400 million for 10 to 15%. That values the club potentially somewhere like 4 billion quid. Mad. I don't think Liverpool's worth that, but like, wow, if that's what they're after, absolutely just astronomical numbers, really, doesn't it? That's like, it's crazy numbers if you think about it. Now, obviously, FSG, all told, have their critics, of course. Some people like them, some people dislike them, some people are kind of in the middle. Some people love them, some people love to hate them. Whatever you're at, what's irrefutable is that Liverpool is worth more money now than when they bought it. That is exactly what they do. They invest low and they sell high. That's exactly what they do. And if that valuation's right, 10 to 15% for somewhere in that range is a massive amount of money. What they do with that money, my hope would be to invest it back into Liverpool, but it looks like the sales stuff's off the agenda for now. It feels like that kind of isn't happening. Maybe it's because the asking price was too high, but yeah, wow. Keep an eye on it. If Kieran's heard it, I would trust that Kieran's hearing things from the right sort of people in the right sort of places. If anything's imminent, I don't know, but 10 to 15% for basically selling a tenth of the company, of the football club, for more than what you originally bought it for is just astronomical business. Like, that is serious in terms of like making a asset worth way, way more than wow. I mean, that's exactly what they've done. Like I say, they haven't always gone about it in the right ways. They've been rightly criticised for quite a few decisions they've made or didn't make as well, or action they chose not to do. But yeah, wow. Maybe that's why they're spending all the money this summer. Maybe they found out they're getting an investment, so they're spending all someone else's money, like getting your mum and dad's credit card when you were a kid and just going and spending it. Maybe that's what they've done. But yeah, listen, that's where we're up to on that kind of stuff anyway. It'd be interesting to see if anything develops. But like I say, if Keenan Maguire's talking about it, I would trust his sourcing as well. We spoke to Keenan on the show a few times. He knows this kind of stuff inside out. He's all over it. His podcast's amazing as well if you're interested in the business side of the sport. Wow, £400 million. Wow, amazing. Right then, let's move on to our second story. This one, not so much current Liverpool, but a Liverpool legend. James Pearce reports that Steven Gerrard is set for a return to management at Al Ettifaq, I hope I've said that right, in Saudi Arabia after talks resumed last week. It's interesting because Steven himself was on Channel 4's coverage of the England football game, and he was like, he's turned down the offer. Something's happened in the last week to make Steven change his mind. I couldn't imagine what that would be. Maybe someone's had a convincing talk with him. Maybe there's a couple of extra zeros added to a contract. I don't know, but it looks like he's back over to Saudi Arabia now. What's interesting, I suppose, is that Steven's going to one of the clubs who aren't owned by the PIF. So obviously they bought the Saudi investment. They bought 4 football teams over in the Saudi Pro League. But Gerrard isn't going to one of them. He's going to another club. I think they're based in Dammam. According to James Pearce's report, I don't know too much about the geography of Saudi Arabia. I'm just going to trust that James knows what he's talking about. And Kevin says in the chat, it's such a weird move for him. My thing is, Kev, what does Stephen want? Is it a payday, and then he might just jib it off and just decide management isn't for him? We saw Graham Souness have a go at management, decide it wasn't for him, and then leave. He lasted longer than Gerrard's lasted. Gerrard's only been doing it for a couple of years. But, like, maybe Gerrard's had the stress and thought it's not for him. I'll go and earn some dough, and then that'll be me. That'll be me boxed off, and I'll go and do other things. He's definitely got a role in the media if he wants it. He can do whatever he wants. He's Steven Gerrard. Or is it a case of just go and get some dough and then come back? Is it a case of there was no offers that appealed to him in England, and he thought rather than just do nothing, I'll go there for a little bit and then come back and earn some money in the meantime? You are right. It is a weird move, but listen, again, we don't know the contract. We don't know all the things about it. Who wanted Gerrard? Did anyone want him in England? Did he apply for jobs? Was he interviewed? Was he unsuccessful? Listen, if you owned a football club in England now, you would be hesitant. I think that's fair enough. Like, he did amazingly well at Glasgow Rangers, of course he did, but Aston Villa did not go well. And the fact that Unai Emery came in after him and smashed it, maybe a poor reflection. So Stephen's got work to do. So maybe it's a case of go and have a bit of time over in Saudi, maybe a bit less pressure on him, try and work a few things out, implement a few strategies that he's got in his head that he might get a bit more time to do and a bit less pressure, and then bring them back. Again, it's difficult to know. Are you better having no job, or are you better having a bit of a job that you can apply for other ones in? Who knows? But ultimately, there's a lot of I'm guessing there's a lot of money involved as well, which is always a thing. The GOAT since 1997, good username, says, Steve, what if Gerrard is going to make negotiations for a sale of Liverpool on the low? That would be mastermind. So are we suggesting that maybe Gerrard's going over there as an agent to try and sell Liverpool, or to just sell Liverpool players or buy some Liverpool? Does he want to buy Joel Matip or something off us maybe? I don't know. I mean, that would be some 3D chess that's getting played by somebody if that was the case. I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it. I think it's just a case of someone's probably offered them a big amount of money to go and manage over there. And that's probably where we're at with it. Someone's probably said to Stephen, right, you can have a few quids, come and manage for a little bit. Where, a lot of ex-players and a lot of players are used to travelling to the Middle East now. Obviously, a lot of them spend some time in the UAE in the holidays. Stephen himself obviously frequents Dubai. Maybe he just likes that part of the world as well. Obviously, different country, but similar location. Maybe it's that. Who knows? But yeah, I'm guessing there's a bit to do with the dough in it as well. Right then, yeah. And Kev says again, hopefully he buys a few fringe players off us. Maybe, yeah. Does he fancy Joel Matip? There's been loads of Thiago rumours, hasn't there, as well? Maybe does he want him? I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe Stephen fancies it. Potentially. We'll find out. I'm sure we'll keep an eye on that one. After I got insulted earlier, I think I'm more than justified in bringing some praise up. So thanks to Dan, who says, I love you, Steve. Thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate it. After starting the show off with literally the first comment of the show being someone not liking me, it's nice to get some love. So thank you very much, Dan. Absolute pleasure to be here with you. Andy Byrne says, good luck to Steve, and we all have to make a living. I mean, I reckon Stevie's doing all right for his money, Andy. I reckon he's doing sound. I don't think he's struggling, but you're right, listen. It's all well and good to say what you would do and what you wouldn't do until someone puts a contract in front of you, and then it's a decision for everyone to make. Right then, I suppose the main story. Sorry, I'm going to read this one as well. Gene, Stay, I hope that early comment hasn't hurt you because you're a legend. I can promise you, if you are on the internet speaking about football, you are used to this kind of stuff. It's fine. It's all good. It's water off a duck's back. I don't really care. It's absolutely fine. It's all good. Think what you want about me. It's absolutely sound. As long as you're watching the show, it sounds. Fill your boots. Right then, Albie's apologising. He says, I do like you, Steve. I was taking the piss. I've apologised. It's only joking, pal. Don't take it seriously. It's fine. I know. Just a bit of joking. Right then, let's talk about the footy. Again. Get back to that one. I suppose the main story that I wanted to bring you guys today, of course, is Romeo Lavia. Ben Jacobs tweeted out, Liverpool are seriously exploring Romeo Lavia. Southampton value Lavia at £50 million, but Liverpool feel that a lower fee could be possible. Arsenal are not advancing on Lavia yet, but he's on their radar. Chelsea are focused on Moises Caicedo for now. It's been backed up a little bit with Fabrizio Romano's tweet, which I can bring you up now. I'll just give you a second. I frantically switched from Ben Jacobs' Twitter feed to Fabrizio's. And Fabrizio is a frequent tweeter, so there's a fair bit of scrolling to do before I get down to Lavia. Keep going, past Mason Mount, past Christian Pulisic. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano's tweet. he said, let's have a look. He said, Liverpool are in the race for Romeo Lavia since Monday and no changes despite Szoboszlai and McAllister's incomings. Liverpool remain keen on signing Lavia on a list with Thuram. Arsenal are still very interested, but it depends on the Thomas exit, and Southampton want a 50 million fee. That is the question that Rosie's just asked. Steve, do you think we will get both Thuram and Lavia? I mean, it's possible in terms of a squad makeup. Liverpool have got one space left for a non-homegrown player. Thuram would take that if he was signed. Lavia's under 21, so he doesn't have to be registered as such. So in terms of a pure squad building exercise, it is possible. What that would mean, of course, is if Liverpool wanted a defender or another player who was non-homegrown, or then they'd have to sell someone, or they get someone who's under 21, a young player who goes on that list. So it's certainly doable. I just don't see them signing 4 midfielders in one window, if truth be told. I don't see that would be a thing. They spent, what, £95 million already on 2 midfielders. I don't think Southampton will get 50 million quid, but Thuram could be worth somewhere 40, 30, but say both of them went for 35, argument's sake. 165 million quid on 4 midfielders. Are Liverpool doing that? And then I don't know. From a squad makeup point of view, it seems unlikely, if truth be told, Rosie. My feeling is it will be one or the other. Now, the difference is, of course, they are very different players. Romeo Lavia is younger and is definitely more of a number 6 DM type player. Khephren Thuram, older, of course, more advanced on the pitch. You'd probably see him more as an 8. But maybe, listen, we've seen Liverpool before, and everyone who's a frequent Redmen TV viewer will have heard Paul Machin say this plenty of times. Jürgen quite likes signing players and then dropping them a position deeper. Maybe they've got the idea with Thuram of doing that. Could I see them signing both of them? I don't know. Lavia is homegrown. He's not homegrown just yet, but I think I'm right in saying he becomes it soon. But it doesn't matter anyway. He's under 21, so it's irrelevant. He doesn't count towards the list, so don't worry about it. He's a 19-year-old kid. You just don't register him. You register him on the youth list, and it's sound. He isn't a problem. What I'm saying is, if they sign Thuram, then that's it in terms of foreign over 21 players. They can't sign another one without selling a player. That was the point I was making. So, yeah, I don't know. Aaron says, I can't understand why we signed Adrian, take up a foreign spot when we have Keller. May as well have a young lad as third choice. My guess is, Aaron, this kind of goes back to Rosie's point, Liverpool will know what they want from their squad. And it might just be Thuram and Lavia, and they don't want a defender. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they think, well, in worst case scenarios, Fabinho plays in defence. I don't know what they're thinking is, can someone do a job? I don't know, but that's kind of my point, is that they obviously know the makeup of their squad. My guess is if Liverpool wanted 2 more foreign players, they wouldn't have kept Adrian. They would have let him go and try to sign somebody else. So my feeling is, if they're going to sign Thuram, sound perfect. All that would mean is that your defender who you sign is going to have to be under 21 or be homegrown. Both are possible. Levi Colwell has been linked. There's been talk of young players as well. But my personal guess is that I don't think it would be Lavia or Thuram. I've been convinced for a while that it would be Thuram. These noises, obviously, that Liverpool are in for and making me doubt that. I don't. Again, these are reports from reliable people. If it was my guess, I still think it's more likely to be Thuram than Lavia. I think Liverpool have already got a young 19-year-old DM on their books already. They've got Stefan Bajcetic. So do they want a second 19-year-old defensive midfielder? I don't know. Or do you want someone like Khephren Thuram who can play in multiple positions? He can play advanced. He can play deeper. He's a bit older. He's a bit more experienced. He's got more senior football under his belt. He's a full international. So my guess is that, but I don't know. And listen, who am I to doubt the reporting of Romano and Ben Jacobs? I'm sure Liverpool are. I'm sure there's no smoke without fire. I'm sure Liverpool are doing their homework, but doing your homework doesn't just, of course, mean that you're getting that you're just getting something. Liverpool did their homework on Mason Mount. Didn't get him. Liverpool did their homework on Bellingham. They did their homework on numerous players. Of course, they do. Timo Werner, back in the day, they did loads on him. So just because they're having these conversations doesn't mean anything. But for a long time, I thought it was going to be McAllister, Thuram, and one more. So that one more has been Dom Szoboszlai, of course. That's my guess, but I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts, guys, in the comments. Like I say, let me know. What do you think? Do you think they're in for both? If they are, again, maybe someone gets sold. There's been, again, I saw a lot of people talking about Thiago and his social media platforms and has he removed Liverpool? I don't even know if he ever had it, but maybe someone is for sale. I don't know, but I don't know. It's my truthful guess. I don't think they would sign both of them, Rosie, to answer your question from before. My thinking it would be just one. Gary says, I reckon they're going to get 2 more, a midfielder and a defender. And I tend to agree. I agree. Lee says, I'd have Thuram all day over the 2. And then Michael says, I agree that Lavia could interfere with Stefan's progress. Yeah, and like Kev says, it might depend on Thiago. Is he staying or is he going? I think they're all very fair points. Yeah, I think, like I say, on the Bacheta stuff, that was my thinking when I first saw the Lavia stuff, was that, what does that mean for Bajcetic? Now, listen, maybe they think Stefan Bajcetic can play as an 8. He has done it before, so maybe that's not. He's played against Liverpool in the senior team as an 8, so maybe that explains that one. I don't know. But I just don't see them signing both. I just don't see them signing both. Jono says, why do we always choose between 2 players instead of getting both? Move Thiago on and sign Thuram and Lavia. Well, first of all, back to the squad thing. It depends what they want to do with defenders, doesn't it? If they want a young defender or an English defender, then they can do both. And then moving Thiago on, well, does Thiago want to go? Who wants Thiago? What are they paying for him? Does he just want to stay? These are all questions that you need to answer. You know what I mean? Like, just move a player on. Well, someone's got to want them. Liverpool would have loved to have sold Oxlade-Chamberlain or Naby Keita, but someone's got to want them on the contract that they're on. I don't think it's not Football Manager. You know what I mean? It doesn't just work like that. If Liverpool can get Thuram, and they can, of course, get Lavia, but you're right, someone would have to leave, and someone's got to want to leave, and someone's got to want your players as well. I said I still wouldn't be shocked if Joel Matip left and was replaced by a young defender, and maybe that makes sense. A young defender comes in, you free up a spot, and then Thuram and Lavia and the defender, and your squad is absolutely fine. But I reckon Liverpool have got a rough idea of what they want to do. They wouldn't have signed Adrian. I know he gets a lot of stick, and I understand it. They wouldn't have give that place away unless they were comfortable with what they had and what they've got and what their plans are. So that might point towards Lavia. It might point towards Lavia, under 19, 20, get him on the young list. So use your last space for a defender. Jobs are good, but I don't know. Also, is it maybe they were in for Thuram until they realised they could get Szoboszlai? They didn't know a deal was possible, and then they found out they could get a deal done, and things changed. It's all very much. We don't really know the answers to that, doesn't it? It's all just trying to basically pull strings and have half little guesses where you're at with us, but. Lee Moulton says, yeah, sell Matip. I think if an offer came in for Joel Matip, Lee, I think Liverpool would sell him. Who wants him? Does he want to go? Maybe. I don't know. What's he been told? Is it better for him to stay for a year and then just cash in next year as a free agent, where you can milk more money? When you're a free agent, you tend to get bigger sign-on fees, bigger wages. Maybe same for Thiago. We just don't know the whole thing of it. But yeah, you're right. I think Liverpool would sell him, but I don't know. What about Nat Phillips? Says Mane, is it? Apologies, I've got your name wrong there. Let's bring that up. Sorry if I got that one there. Well, the latest is on Nat Phillips that Leeds are in for him, and that Watford like him, and that Liverpool have set 10 million quid. I would be shocked if you got £10 million for Nat Phillips. Absolutely shocked. Maybe they again. Nat Phillips, it tends to happen a lot. Having loaned Reece Williams out, maybe Liverpool are waiting to see if they get another defender in before they then let Nat Phillips go. He's been stuck around before as 5th choice cover, hasn't he? I'm sure he would like the move if he could get it, game time. Maybe it's that. But I think that's... I sat here so many times when Nat Phillips said that he could be sold. It's someone people got to want him. And then also I think Liverpool would want their replacement in the building, I think, before they sold him. On that time recording, there hasn't been too much. There's been rumours of like Van der Ven and Inacio and things, but not in like what you would call concrete on a defender. That might change now. They got Szoboszlai in. They're happy that it might have been right. We get 2 midfielders and then we get a defender, and then if there's something else to do, we do that. It's hard in terms of the planning of the process. But I don't know. Is the honest answer. I think he will go, but it might be later on in the window, would be my guess. Retired Zlatan, I wonder if it's Mr. Ibrahimovic or just another Zlatan. Thank you very much. Look, here's my solution. If I was the committee, I'd get Levi Colwell and Lavia and then add Thuram. It works in terms of your homegrown English, non-homegrown English stuff. From what the latest reports on Colwell was that they were rejecting like £40 million from Brighton, and Chelsea are desperate to keep him. Chelsea have got their own situation where they need to keep players. Well, they've sold a lot of defenders. Aspilicueta, it looks like he's about to go. They've already, of course, let Koulibaly go. Thiago Silva's gone. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I think Colwell plays for Chelsea next season is my guess. I think Liverpool would like to get him. I just don't think, if they're turning that down from Brighton, I just don't think they would sell us. I don't think they would sell us Colwell. I think he's good enough to play for them. I think he will play for them next season. So I just don't see that one happening. Let's have a little look. Who would your first choice be for the left-footed centre-back? BC. Colwell will be the one. Yeah, he would be. Of the ones we've been linked with, that's from Michael. Thank you, Michael. He's the one I've seen enough of to make a judgment. He would be ideal. I think he would be a very good signing. So, yeah, he would be my choice as well. I don't know enough about Van der Ven. I don't really know enough about Inacio. I was speaking to Josh Williams at Distance Covered, Josh, who does the deep dive with us, and he likes Inacio as well as a profile, and I would tend to trust Josh's judgments. But from the ones I've seen who've been tentatively linked, Colwell does fit. I think he would be a good signing. Silva didn't leave. Am I wrong? Oh, Silva hasn't left. Apologies. They haven't left. They kept Thiago Silva. Misspoke there. Yeah, fair enough. My apologies on that one. Rich says, I'm gutted we aren't in the conversation for Gvardiol. He openly admitted he's a Liverpool fan. He would have been boss. Yeah, it's the fee, I suppose, isn't it? They're going to get 80-odd million quid for him. Liverpool had so much to do in this window. That was a difficult one. I wonder if City were going to get Gvardiol and Declan Rice, or it was a case of they couldn't get Rice, so they went and got him. Again, we'll never know where he will. We never know. Were City willing to buy both? They've already signed Kovacic, of course. Again, the window will come on. I just don't. In a window where Liverpool needed so much to do, they weren't going to spend £80 million on one player. Because if they're willing to spend £80 million on one player, they would have signed Jude Bellingham or tried to sign Jude Bellingham. So I think that's where we're at with Gvardiol. They probably missed the boat. They probably could have tried to get him earlier, and having missed out, then it became a point where I was like, that we're not good enough. City are, I say blessed, in a blessed position for a number of reasons. There's 115 reasons why Man City are blessed, but when you've got a complete squad and you're happy, then you only need to sign one or two. You can use your entire budget on one or two. Liverpool needs 4 or 5 players. That's what they needed to do. The squad had got stale, so they didn't have it to splash in one place. So I think that's that became the end of that one. Hugo Santos says we won't sign both Lavia and Thuram. Yeah, again, like I said before, Hugo, I listen. I wouldn't say won't because I don't know. I don't think they will sign both of them. We'll find out in due course, of course, who's the priority. I think Thuram probably, but if they're after a pure out and out DM, then that becomes Lavia. A lot of that depends on what they think of Fabinho, I guess, and where they're at with Fabinho. Fab as centre back is a shout. Yeah, I've spoken to Neil Jones on JNO Insight a lot of times, and he's said that as well. Like, he thinks Fabinho was a good centre back at the time when he had to do it, and he was. He played well at centre half, so it's certainly a possibility that if you're worried that his legs have gone, send him back one. Although Liverpool ask their defenders to do a lot of running. Ibu Konate ask Ibu Konate what it's like jogging around to cover Trent Alexander-Arnold's right back position every time. But you're right, he absolutely can do it. You're right. Who do you think will be a surprise that leaves? Someone like Jota, says Uzziah. Well, if I could predict that, it wouldn't be a surprise. No one. I don't think Thiago will leave. I've seen all that stuff. I don't think that'll happen. Who I think will leave? I think Nat Phillips will leave. There's not that many more, really. Maybe a couple of young players go out on loan. If a bid came in for Kelleher, maybe, but it feels like anywhere he could have gone, it's kind of, they've all tightened up and they've all got their own goalkeepers. Brighton, Brentford look like they've got their sorted. Tottenham as well. So that Matip, but I'm not sure I would class that as a surprise. But I wouldn't be shocked if Matip left. Tsimikas, wouldn't be shocked if he left, but again, I would be hesitant to call that a surprise. So I don't see anyone else other than them really potentially being any options. I don't think that would happen. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Mr. J Mango says I could see Matip, Thiago, and Tsimikas. I don't see the Thiago one. I know a lot of people do. I don't see it. I wouldn't be adverse. I love Thiago. He's one of the most incredible footballers you'll have the pleasure to see live. He's incredible. He was in the PFA Team of the Year because his peers thought the same 2 seasons ago. It's a bit like the Daniel Sturridge situation, somewhere around, years 14 to 17, whereas like he's obviously brilliant, and if he's fit and available, he's one of your best players, but he just isn't fit and available enough. So I don't know. I don't see it happening personally, but if someone came and said like, "Here's 30 million quid," I think he'd probably have to take it, just because he's going to leave for nothing next summer. And also, it's one of those things where like, it's not your problem anymore. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Like, I know that sounds mad because you'd love to have Thiago available when you've got him and use him as a luxury, but like, it's also a bit of a headache. If he's there just not playing all the time, it pisses you off. If he's not, needs to be someone else's problem, I suppose. Igor, I think I spoke to Igor before. I think he is a Croatian, as far I think I'm right in saying, Igor. I think we've had this conversation before. Leipzig don't want to sell Gvardiol right now, apparently. Yeah, maybe that's something that Liverpool have done. Maybe Liverpool have given Leipzig enough money by giving them the Szoboszlai money up front. Szoboszlai, I keep saying the X to Z. Szoboszlai, that they don't have to. At some point, they'll sell him. They'll drive a hard bargain. And City, if they want him, are going to have to stump up the money. Leipzig don't need the money, really. You know what I mean? They're backed by a billion-dollar company in Red Bull. They're fine. Maybe that, but I do think they'll get him. But I think they're going to pay a world record fee for a centre back to get him. Would be my guess, is what we're going to have to do. And he's a great player. He'll be a great signer for Manchester City, of course he will be, but it's going to cost him a lot of money. TRS Juan, I'll tell you something, when this business is done, we're going to have some great problems regarding team selection. You're right. There was a question before about Curtis Jones, and I sort of apologies. It scrolled so far away that I couldn't bring it up. But yeah, Jurgen's going to have plenty of options in that number 8 role. So McAllister, Szoboszlai, Jones, Elliott, Thiago, Henderson are probably the 6 now, unless I'm forgetting someone, maybe a young player or two. Obviously, if they sign Khephren and Thuram, you could put him into that mix as well. He's going to have plenty to talk about. I think we should sign both Thuram and Lavia, says Uzir again, with a centre-back. Thiago Phillips and Matip leave. Yeah, would make sense. It would make, that's a lot of business to be done, but it would add up in terms of the numbers. Again, I just don't see it. I think Thiago stays. Honestly, I really do. Do you think Lavia coming would affect Stefan Bacetic's development, says Luke? Yeah, I mean, you'd have to, wouldn't it, really? If you spend 40, 50 million pounds on him, whatever, you've got 30, 40, does that put him above Bacetic in the pecking order straight away? Maybe. I think if they sign Lavia, it shows that they're worried about Fabinho a lot, and that they don't think last season was just a fluke one-off. He's played too much. We need to rest. They're worried about Fabinho's legs and that he's gone, because to have 2 young backups in the same position, 19, that kind of suggests that they don't think Fabinho's for the long term. So that would be my reading of that situation. I'd like to know what your guys' thoughts are as well. Do you think Elliott becomes a winger, says Jean Paul? Do you think Elliott becomes a winger, or do you think Klopp persists with him as 8? I believe he feels really forced in that position. I think he stays as an 8, and I don't think he's got the pace to play wide, is the reason why. I think before they sign Szoboszlai, at the AFCON, when Salah goes, you're going to have the choice of who can go on the right. Either had Jota, Diaz or Elliott, and I don't think any of them were ideal. Now he's got Szoboszlai. I think he's more than capable. I think he might be the choice there long term. I don't think Elliott's got the pace to be a Liverpool winger in this system that we play, and I don't think he scores enough goals. Now he could develop that, of course, but I still think he's an 8. I think Liverpool got 5 8s really that they're going to rely on so far. They might sign another one. McAllister, Jones, Szoboszlai, Elliott and Thiago potentially as well. Bit of Henderson knocking about. So I think they're the ones that he's going to rely on as well. And then in terms of DMs, they've got Fabinho, Bacetic. You could use Henderson, of course, there, and maybe Thiago. So it started to take shape a little bit. And obviously Trent's then doing what Trent does, where he comes in and out. I don't think he ever starts in the midfield. But I don't think, no. I think he will stick with Elliott, and I think he deserves to. I know a lot of people don't like Elliott or give him some stick and kind of stuff. I think there's a very bright future for Harvey Elliott. Some people disagree. Fraser, yeah. Elliott is a mid-table quality player. Disagree. I think he's more than capable of playing for Liverpool. I think he's got to develop. I think he can develop. He isn't there yet. He's got to finish the article, but I think he's definitely got the promise to be a very, very good Liverpool player. And as a youngster, if he's in and out the side and learning bits and playing and then being looked after, that's absolutely fine. Liverpool like playing young players. They develop players well. So disagree with you on that one. Albie says, Gabby Vega still on, or have we moved on? Yeah, it doesn't feel like it, does it? It doesn't feel like it, but again, who knows? I don't know. I've got no inside track to Liverpool. They don't tell me nothing. Feels like Chelsea. I think Nazir Kinsella kind of reported Chelsea, and I would trust his reporting. So maybe Chelsea for him. I don't know. Right then, going to start wrapping up. Oh yeah, start wrapping up. I just want to let you guys know about the offer we've got. So if you want to sign up, redmenplus.com. It's our subscription service. We've got a deal on right now. If you head on over to redmenplus.com and sign up, and sign up as a yearly club captain, and use the code Bobby, BOBBY. You'll get it for half price for the entire year. So that'll get you the rest of this transfer window, all of next season, and the start of next year's transfer window. So you get journo insight throughout the summer, all our experts insight. Stan's done an amazing job, Dan Club. We've spoke to Szoboszlai's ex-manager, we've spoke to some Hungarian journalists, we spoke to Germans, we've spoke to everybody. I think there's Adam Bog. I think Dan was on Zoom to Adam Bogdan before. That'll be out soon as well. Who knows him quite well from the Hungary setup. So yeah, if you want to go and get involved, as well as watching the Bobby Firmino 3-part documentary series, yeah, redmenplus.com, yearly club captain. Use the code Bobby, BOBBY, and you'll get it for half price. It's an absolute bargain, a year's worth of content. So get yourselves involved over there. Tomorrow, like I mentioned earlier, Dan Club will be back with tomorrow's news update. So come and join Dan for that one. Like this stream, like this video. You guys are the absolute best, and I'll see you all later.
So pre-season is just around the corner for the mighty Reds, but if you want to spend your days, weeks and hours celebrating a Liverpool legend, then check out Bobby Firmino, Best in the World, our 3-part documentary series, episodes 2 and 3 exclusively streaming on redmenplus.com right now, with full interviews from so many of our amazing contributors, including the Liverpool skipper Jordan Henderson, the greatest goal scorer the club's ever seen, Ian Rush, and a hell of a lot more. Right now, go to redmenplus.com. All episodes of Bobby Firmino, Best in the World, streaming today.